The Bird Who Stayed. A tale of healing, freedom, and a bond that ties hearts across the skies. At the farthest edge of a forgotten map, hidden in silvery mists and guarded by mountains older than memory, there was a place called the Valley of Stillness. It wasn't silent because nothing stirred. It was silent because everything spoke softly. The rustle of leaves whispered ancient names. The wind hummed lullabies from long-lost mothers. Even the stones murmured, if you stayed quiet enough to hear. In that valley lived a girl named Elara. Her eyes were the color of rain-washed earth, and her heart deep like a winter lake. She lived with her grandmother, a silver-haired storyteller, believed to be the last of the light-tongued, those who could still speak with birds, dream in colors, and remember the songs of the stars. Each night, by the fire, Elara listened to stories older than the village itself, tales of lions who walked away from battle for peace, of girls who cried with the moon and laughed with the dawn, of birds who grew wings from their wounds. And though Elara never said it aloud, deep within her chest lived a wish. Let one of these stories find me. One day, it did. It was a quiet morning after the storm. The trees still dripped with memory, and the ground smelled of earth and endings. Elara walked to the forest's edge to gather wood when she saw it, a small shimmer against the roots of an old tree. A bird, but not just any bird. Its feathers were a strange glowing silver blue, like moonlight caught in mist. But one wing, the left, hung wrong, twisted and bloodied. It lay still, breath shallow, eyes closed, a breath too late, and it might have been lost forever. Elara knelt, heart hammering in her chest. She whispered, You're from one of the stories, aren't you?" The bird didn't answer, but it opened one eye, and Elara smiled. She wrapped it gently in her scarf and brought it home. Her grandmother took one look and said, "Every wound has two souls, one who carries it and one brave enough to help heal it. Today, you are both." So Elara became the bird's guardian. She named it Sayora, which meant the one who returns. Each day she cleaned its wing with spring water and crushed wild herbs between her fingers. Each night she sang it lullabies, the same ones her grandmother once whispered to the stars. Sayora listened and healed. At first, the bird fluttered from its nest to the windowsill, then from Elara's shoulder to the shelf, and eventually across the room, but never far, never gone. One morning, under a sky too blue to ignore, Sayora flew in wide arcs over the valley, higher, braver, wilder. But when it returned to Elara's shoulder, something had changed. There was a new stillness in the bird, a question unspoken. That night, Elara sat by the fire, her hands folded in her lap. She looked at Sayora and said softly, "You were never mine. I held you to help you heal, but you belong to the sky." Sayora blinked. No sound, no cry, only silence, the kind that wraps around two hearts that no goodbye is coming. At dawn, Elara carried the bird to the cliffside where they first met. She held it close, pressed her cheek to its soft feathers, and then, with shaking hands, she lifted it. "If you return," she whispered, "I'll know it was your choice, not my chain." Sayora spread its wings. For a moment, it stood still, as if listening to the wind. Then, flight, a blur of silver and light, a song of freedom, a gift given and accepted. Elara stood alone, but not empty, because some goodbyes are also beginnings. Days passed, nights came and went like tides. Elara no longer watched the sky. She sang to it. And when the villagers asked why she glowed, her grandmother smiled, because she let go of something she loved, and in doing so, she found herself. But then a night came, a night when the moon stood full and proud, a night when mist curled like ribbon through the trees. From the darkness came a sound, wings, not loud, not desperate, just true. And before Elara could even whisper its name, Sayora returned. It didn't land in its old nest. It didn't seek shelter. It flew straight to her shoulder, pressed its beak to her cheek, and stayed. Not because it had to, not because it couldn't leave, but because it had found its home in her. Moral of the story, real love frees. And what is meant for you, what sees you, hears you, knows you, will return, not because it's lost, but because it chooses you every time.